أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يوم تبيض وجوه وتسود وجوه، فأما الذين اسودت وجوههم أكفرتم بعد إيمانكم فذوقوا العذاب بما كنتم تكفرون. وأما الذين ابيضت وجوههم ففي رحمة الله هم فيها خالدون. صدق الله العظيم. In previous verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the principle of unity and taqwa. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated the responsibility of this ummah, that is the Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar, bidding the fair and forbidding the unfair. Now in this present verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that on the day, meaning on the day of resurrection, when some faces shall turn bright, shall become white, and some faces shall become dark or black. As for those whose faces turn dark or black, they shall be questioned that did you disbelieve after you had accepted the faith? Now test the punishment because you have been disbelieving. And as for those whose faces shall become white or turn bright, they shall rest in Allah's mercy. They are there forever. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses two words in this verse. Some faces will become white or will turn bright, while some others shall become black or turn dark. So the meaning of bright and dark faces. This expression appears in the Holy Quran at several places. For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in a verse, وَيَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ تَرَى الَّذِينَ كَذَبُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ وُجُوهُهُمْ مُسْوَدَّةٌ, means on the day of doom you shall see those who lied against Allah with their faces blackened. In another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وُجُوهُ يَوْمَئِذٍ مُصْفِرَةٌ ضَاحِكَةٌ مُسْتَبْشِرَةٌ وَوُجُوهُ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَلَيْهَا غَبَرَةٌ تَرْهَقُهَا قَتَرَةٌ, means some faces on that day shall shine, laughing joys, and some faces on that day shall be dusty, overspread with darkness. Similarly, there is another verse in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَجُوهُ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاظِرَةٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهَا نَاظِرَةٌ, faces on that day shall be radiant, looking towards their Lord. So in these verses, several words such as bayaz mean whiteness, sawad black, darkness, and ghabara means like dust, qatara means darkness, nazara looking towards their Lord. So these words have been used to carry the same sense. So these are the qualities of the faces. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says on the day of judgment, people will be in different situation. Some people will be very, very happy. They will be laughing, they will be joyous. While others, they will be dusty, their faces will be dusty, covered with darkness. So According to the majority of the commentators, brightness signifies the brightness of the light of faith. That is, the faces of believers shall be resplendent with the light of faith, fresh, smiling, due to happiness, as a result of reward bestowed upon them by Allah. Darkness signifies the darkness of disbelief. That is, the faces of disbelievers will be covered with the gloomy anguish of disbelief, and the added sort of sin and transgression would turn them still darker. So now question arises that who are these people? That some people will have like shining faces, some people will have dark faces. So commentators have explained the identity of the people with bright and dark faces variously. Sayyidina Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu says that the faces of the followers of Sunnah of the Holy Prophet ﷺ shall be bright, and those of the followers of Bid'ah. Bid'ah means innovation in the religion. Whoever follow Bid'ah, innovation in religion, their faces shall be dark. There is one explanation. Hazrat Ata, he is a famous commentator of the Holy Quran. He says that the faces of the Muhajirin, immigrants, and Ansar, and the helpers shall be bright, and the faces of Banu Qurayza and Banu Nazir. Banu Qurayza, Banu Nazir were two tribes of the Jews in the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. So the faces of Banu Qurayza and Banu Nazir shall be dark. This is another explanation. There is another hadith narrated from Abu Umama radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He explains this verse and says that the people whose faces shall be dark are those it relates to the Khawarij. Khawarij, the oldest sect of rebels. So he says that the dark faces shall belong to the Khawarij sect. That was a sect in the time of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. They were rebellious. So Sayyidina Ikrama radiallahu anhu, he says that dark faces shall belong to those from among the people of the book who did confirm the coming of the Holy Prophet ﷺ before he was ordained. But when he had been given prophethood, they did not accept and support him. On the contrary, they started falsifying him. So there are other explanations as well, other than those I mentioned, but they all lead to the same conclusion, and they are not contradictory. That is why Imam Qurtubi, he is the famous commentator, he said in his tafsir that the expression يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ in the verse means that the faces of sincere Muslims shall be bright, but the faces of all those who may have altered their religion or may have become apostates, murtad, and disbelievers, or may be concealing their hypocrisy in their hearts shall be dark. So those who are sincere Muslims, their faces will become white and bright on the day of resurrection, while the faces of the disbelievers and the hypocrites will be dark and black. So this is the meaning of these terminologies, words used in this verse. Now, there are some points in this verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned bayaz, whiteness, then mentioned sawad, darkness. Then in detail Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first mentioned those people whose faces will become dark, and the second verse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned those whose faces will become white. So it means, and first he mentioned the whiteness, then darkness. While giving the detail of this, he mentioned first the those whose faces will be dark, and then he mentioned those whose faces will be bright and the white. So the point is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means that those whose faces shall be dark or black, this is because their bad deeds, and this is the punishment of their deeds. So the sequence of the original statement required that the mention of brightness appear first at this place as well. But this reversal of the order seems to indicate that Allah Almighty has pointed out to His main purpose of creation. That purpose is to bless His creation with His mercy. Punishment is not the objective. So those with bright faces come first, as they deserve the mercy and merit from their Lord. So people with dark, anguished faces were mentioned later as the ones who deserve punishment. So that is why towards the close of the words the statement فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ, their rest in Allah's mercy, is meant to stress upon the great mercy of the Creator. So this is the point. Meaning first Allah mentioned يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ, on the day when faces shall turn bright and faces shall turn dark. Then as for those whose faces turn dark, they shall be questioned, did you disbelieve after you had accepted the faith? So this is the one point. Another point, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that it will say to them that now test the punishment because you have been disbelieving. You have been disbelieving. While for those whose faces will become white and bright, Allah says regarding them that they will be in the mercy of Allah and forever. So Allah says that people of paradise will reside in paradise forever. But Allah did not mention this sentence that the people of the hell, they will be in hell forever. So this is another point. Yes, in some verses Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala added that the disbeliever, they will be in the hell forever. But here Allah did not mention this sentence that they, like the sentence of fi rahmatillah, they rest in Allah's mercy, mean is immediately qualified by hum fiha khalidun, they are there forever. This means that the mercy in which the believer shall rest will not be temporary, it would be forever and eternal. So this blessing will never be taken away from them, or it will not be reduced in their case. In contrast to this are those whose faces shall turn dark. For them it has not be expressly mentioned if they shall be in that state forever. So if Allah wants so he will take away them from the hell, otherwise they will remain in the hell. Another sentence Allah says فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ. It means now test the punishment because you have been sinning. So it indicates that the punishment on that day is not from Allah, but that it is as a consequence of what man has earned while living this mortal life. So the truth is that the blessings of paradise and the hardship of hell are simply a change form of our very deeds. So that is why in the last another verse Allah will say, وَمَا اللَّهُ يُرِيدُ ظُلْمًا لِلْعَالَمِينَ, and Allah wants no injustice for anyone in the world, which means that Allah has no intention of being unjust to his creation. Whatever reward or punishment there is nothing but justice and very much the perfect expression of the divine wisdom and mercy. So Allah says, "O people, if you will be given punishment, so it will be the result of your deeds. Allah does not treat anyone with an injustice, but it is the result of your deeds. That is why Allah says, now test the punishment because you have been sinning or you have been disbelieving." So this is the summary of this verse. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ. Yawma, on a day, meaning day of resurrection. تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ, when faces or when some faces shall turn bright. وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ, and some faces shall turn dark. فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ اسْوَدَّتْ, as for those whose faces turn dark, أَكَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ, meaning did you disbelieve after you had accepted the faith? Meaning they shall be questioned. To them it will be said that أَكَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ, did you disbelieve بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ, after accepting it? فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ, now test the punishment. بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ, because you have been disbelieving. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ ابْيَضَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ, and as for those whose faces turn bright, فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ, they rest in Allah's mercy. هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, they are there forever. Again, يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ, on a day, meaning day of resurrection. تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ, when faces shall turn bright. وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ, and faces shall turn dark. Meaning some faces will become white or bright, and some faces shall become black. فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ اسْوَدَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ, as for those whose faces turn dark, meaning they shall be questioned. أَكَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ, did you disbelieve بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ, after accepting it? Meaning after you had accepted the faith. فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ, now test the punishment because you have been disbelieving. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ ابْيَضَّتْ, and as for those whose faces turn bright, فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ, they rest in Allah's mercy. هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, they are there forever. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ, on the day, meaning on the day of resurrection. يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ, on the day when some faces will become white or turn bright. وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ, and some faces will become black or will turn dark. Meaning on the day, means on the day of resurrection. فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ اسْوَدَّتْ, as for those whose faces will become black, أَكَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ, meaning to them will be said, أَكَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ, did you disbelieve, or did you reject the faith after accepting him, or did you disbelieve after you had accepted the faith? فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ, now test the torment, the punishment, بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ, because you have been disbelieving. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ بِيَضَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ, and as for those whose faces will become white, فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ, they will rest, they will be in Allah's mercy, in the mercy of Allah. هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, therein they shall dwell forever, or they are there forever. يَوْمَ تَبِيَضُّ, يَوْمَ mean on a day, meaning day of resurrection. تَبِيَضُّ, turn, تَبِيَضُّ turn bright, or become white. وُجُوهٌ means faces, meaning some faces. وَتَسْوَدُّ, turn dark, or shall become black. وُجُوهٌ faces. فَأَمَّا, as for those, الَّذِينَ, فَأَمَّا as for الَّذِينَ those, اسْوَدَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ, wujuh faces, whose faces, iswaddat means turn dark. Akafartum, did you disbelieve? Ba'da imanikum, after you had accepted the faith. But before this sentence we consider that they shall be questioned. Akafartum ba'da imanikum, did you disbelieve? Ba'da imanikum, after you had accepted the faith. فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ, now test, فَذُوقُوا, now test, al-azaba, the punishment, the torment, bima kuntum, bima because, kuntum takfurun, you have been disbelieving. Wa amma, and as for alladhina those, ibiyaddat wujuhum, whose faces, ibiyaddat turned bright, fafi rahmatillah, they rest, fafi in rahmatillah, in Allah's mercy. Hum fiha khalidun, they are there. Hum, they, fiha are there, khalidun, forever. Again, yawma, on a day, day of resurrection. Tabiyaddu, meaning shall turn bright. Wujuhun faces. Wataswaddu, shall turn dark. Wujuhun faces. Fa'amma, as for alladhina those, iswaddat, turn dark, meaning wujuhum, whose faces, or their faces. Akafartum, did you disbelieve? Ba'da imanikum, after you had accepted the faith. Fadhuku, now test, you people, al-azaba, the punishment. Bima, because kuntum takfurun, because you have been disbelieving. Wa amma, and as for alladhina those, ibiyaddat wujuhum, whose faces, wujuhum, whose faces, ibiyaddat, turn bright. Fafi rahmatillah, their rest in Allah's mercy. Fi in rahma, mercy Allah, Allah. Hum fiha, they are there, khalidun, forever.